love how this says, wow, what a hole forever.
Yeah. That is forever going to be our snappy, snippy, clappy, clappy.
We're not calling it clap anymore.
No, we're calling it snap.
Because clap makes us think of STIs.
Yes.
And in this show, that would make us horrible people.
Are we ready?
Side note,
Yes.
there is a possibility that I will have to take a call in the middle of the episode. If a call comes, I have to answer it.
Okay.
I hope that it doesn't.
Okay.
I'll explain afterwards.
Okay.
Just letting you guys know.
Sounds good.
Okay. If that's the case, we'll just cut and edit. And
Yeah, it's fine.
We'll just find a different person for the podcast. It's
Yeah.
fine.
from this point
It's
onward,
all
okay,
good.
I understand. Yeah, okay. Okay, cool. I can suggest some people if you need some help.
Yeah, I don't want your suggestions.
Oh, okay.
They might take a call in the middle of the podcast.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
It's
I
possible.
was made to hit in America.
Oh, God. 2.0. The cute little girl version.
And welcome back to Anime Shmanime,
hi.
where we're going to be talking about Beck.
No.
Nope.
No, it's not Beck. It's Asobi Asobase.
Mixed with Beck. Yeah,
Yep.
that's pretty much, actually,
Yeah.
that's a good,
It's
good
an Arnold Palmer of those two shows.
Yes, we are doing Bocchi The Rock.
Yeah.
And again, if you're just tuning in, we are going to spoil the fuck out of all of it. So just beware, you have been forewarned. But yeah.
Bekshi the Rock.
Bocchi The Rock.
Bekshi.
It's Bocchi.
Beck.
It's Bekshi.
Bekshi.
Bocchi.
Bekshi. As in the show Beck?
Yeah.
Beck.
Chi.
Chi.
Bekshi.
The Rock.
The Rock.
Bekshi Dwayne Johnson.
Bekshi Asobase.
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone?
Asobekshi.
Aso Bekshay.
So The Rock.
Anyways, yes, it is
Yeah.
very clearly a mashup of those shows.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And it left me feeling a little conflicted. Because I felt very differently about those two shows.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very differently.
As in, you liked them.
Yeah.
No,
Especially Beck. You loved Beck.
Yeah. If you guys haven't seen that episode and you guys want to see me get unreasonably upset,
Yeah, like for a couple weeks afterwards,
Yeah.
things were weird.
Yeah. There was a lot of tension in our friendship after that episode.
go watch. That one is actually hilarious to watch. But yeah, and then obviously Asobi Asobase was my suggestion and one that's very near and dear to me. So it was very interesting getting both of those vibes. But then at the same time, this is also its own beast, I think.
It's like both
yeah.
of those things, but like the diet versions of both of those things, and then
Yeah.
slam together.
And then slam together.
Yeah. I would definitely see the influences of both of them for all those reasons. I mean,
Yeah.
even K-On! If you haven't seen K-On!, but it's the reason why we picked this one is because it beat out Chainsaw Man on the Mal rankings.
Well, we were also suggested this one,
Yeah, we were suggesting.
can't
this
remember
one
who
too.
it was.
Yeah, I can't remember.
but somebody
If you
suggested.
did, thanks.
Thank you.
Actually, no, I think I was the one who said, like, "Hey, let's do this."
I can bring up the DM of somebody that said, "Hey, will you guys please do Bocchi the Rock?" It might have been a YouTube
It's
comment.
just Mikey's like Finstagram.
It might have been a YouTube comment. If it was, then we forgot your name. We apologize. We probably should have looked that up. But thank you, because that put it on my radar.
Yeah.
Mikey probably found out some other way, but
I mean, Mikey
did it.
kind of said it afterwards, like after the fact. So
No, fuck you both.
we still. Well, no, you know what? It worked out because when it was suggested, it was kind of an out of left field suggestion. No offense to whoever it was, but it was kind of just like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And I looked it up and I was like, still like, what is this?
yeah.
And then,
And then I
so
watched the whole
good.
show and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
No, it's so good.
But
I was
wait,
watching it
before-
as I was simulcasting.
before he gets into his opinion, because that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
It like left my mind for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then all of a sudden, you know, I was on Reddit. I kept seeing this ranking of like people's favorite best girl, or favorite relationships and all that. There's always these internet ranking things, and all of a sudden, out of fucking nowhere,
Bocchi.
I start seeing these characters from Bocchi The Rock showing up on all these lists.
Yeah.
And not only showing up, but like right to the fucking top.
Yeah.
And this show came out of nowhere and became absolutely massive. And now apparently the manga is like crushing records. The manga is arguably bigger than the anime.
Weird.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Very strange.
When the author of the manga was at one of the Comic-Cons, like one of their Comic Cons there.
Okay.
They literally had to move him to a different section of the convention center because they were not anticipating the rush that was going to happen
Yeah.
for the manga copies, and people fucking crowded around, and it caused huge problems at the
Holy
Comic-Con.
shit. Someone
Oh,
died in
wow.
the trampling.
Yeah,
Oh my God, it's Black Friday.
yeah. But it was probably like super polite and Japanese and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
They're all
and not
just
dirty
introverted
American.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
A lot less drool and
Yeah.
fucking.
Yeah. A little more like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. We don't really have that issue here with Black Friday in Canada.
Yeah, guys, we're Canadian.
Oh yeah, that's
You
true.
guys
yeah.
always seem so surprised when you find that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, because this is the thing with Bocchi the Rock, right? Like as soon as it started airing and I started watching it, I'm like, because I haven't found a music anime, like especially like a rock band anime, that has been as good as Beck. Right, like there's K-On!
I just saw Jay's nostrils gently flare when as soon as he said Beck. Like
Yeah,
you couldn't
and he's
involuntarily.
just fucking staring me down, so you're giving me cut eye from right next to you. Sway.
I think you secretly love it.
Yeah, I know. but
do now.
but K-On! Was pretty good, and I know you haven't seen K-On.
K-On's kind of legendary.
Yeah, but
There's
it's-
actually a K-On reference in this show.
Yeah, but it's
I think I caught it without knowing what it was.
Probably not.
probably not.
I would be really surprised because it's super obscure, dude.
I'm Googling something.
But
you
the
go
other
ahead.
thing though is that like this one, it was just so funny, right, and so wild that it just kind of lent itself to having this odd balance of how, you know, sympathetic you are to these characters and these kids, and like they're all like beautiful little angels that I want to protect now, and like they've all become my daughters. they're all my daughters now, and I just want to
Wow.
cheer them on, and I want them to grow up and become famous, and like have Bocchi, you know, break out of her shell even more. Not to mention, like most of those animes that have like for example, Given, right, is another rock anime.
Okay, I don't know
And
that one.
that's a BL. But I was sucked in first because I was like, oh, cool. Their first song that they played was actually pretty sweet, right? It was just a jam.
Yeah.
And then this music kind of fell a little flat for me, but the story was still really good.
That's in Given, you said?
In Given,
Yeah.
right? I mean, we're gonna get into Given because we're gonna do that later in the year, but then there's K-On!, which the music was kind of meh. But like, I mean, you know, you got your cute characters, but this had good music.
It did have good music.
It had good music.
Much better music
Yeah, much better music.
Which
Beck.
one had bad music, Jay?
than Beck.
Then Initial D also had bad music.
Yeah,
Initially
the
had
Euro
sick
beats.
fucking
Just gonna put that
music,
out there.
dude.
Yeah.
Initially had sick music. So sick, dude. You're
All right.
wrong.
Fucking
Oh
Euro
my God.
beats all day. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, and then not to mention like you have, I mean, it's got to be sponsored by Marshall and Gibson and
And Tama.
Oh, dude.
I caught all
I know.
of them too. Yeah.
dude,
Yeah.
they mentioned Dingwall.
Yeah, at one point,
which
yeah.
I'm like, are you kidding me? This is like an obscure Canadian, like they're a huge bass
Yeah.
company.
Yeah.
But they're Canadian. I'm pretty sure they're Canadian.
I don't know.
They're a bass company, and it's like
Yeah.
super obscure, and like
Yeah.
even the amps that the bass player wanted are like
Yeah.
boutique amps.
Well, it makes sense because
Yeah.
she is the ultimate musician.
yeah, she is. She's the
Truly.
she
Right?
is the nerd. She's the gear nerd.
Yeah.
yeah.
Every band has one, if not
Yeah.
multiple.
Yeah, true.
I was that guy.
Yeah.
Might be
And the
still that
bassist.
guy.
Yeah.
I'm still that
Just
guy.
with podcast equipment and
Yeah.
anime figures.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god. Okay, so let me tell you what I thought about the show.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was very funny.
Fuck off.
Like it didn't really make me laugh.
What? What are you? Wait.
I'm sorry.
Like it didn't have. Okay, I will give it that it had some pacing issues where some of the jokes, you know, it took a little bit to get there, but like it just didn't like leave a smile on your face the whole time you're watching it.
A couple times. And I'll be honest with you, at first I like really kind of disliked it. And then I did find myself rooting for them towards the end.
Okay,
But like that's kind of it.
come on.
Well, here's the juxtaposition. Okay?
Yeah.
Think about how hard and how many times you laughed at Asobi Asobase.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And how invested and committed you were at the success of the band from Beck.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It's diet both of those shows.
Right?
That's what I'm saying,
yeah.
right? I wasn't as invested as I was in Beck. And
You
I
didn't
wasn't
laugh as
it
hard.
didn't laugh as hard as Asobi Asobase.
So you might as well just watch those two shows and skip this
I
one.
think I will going forward.
No, this is a completely its own thing. You have a character
I agree.
who has like severe social anxiety.
That's a huge difference right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Severe
I
social
agree.
anxiety. Not to mention she is a fucking genius musically.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing. I'm glad you mentioned the anxiety thing first, actually, because I think that's like the core of this show. That's what Bocchi The Rock is about. You know what I mean? It's dressed up through music, but it's ultimately about her confronting how introverted she is
Yeah.
and how anxious that makes her feel and how incapable that makes her feel and overcoming that.
Yeah.
You know, it unfortunately also kind of that point that I'm bringing up kind of rears its head in a way that I didn't like. And it's a little bit of a nitpick. I'm just going to get it out of the way right now so we don't have to linger on it. But it did kind of bug me a little bit that she grew up in a musical household because her dad played guitar. But she doesn't get into music because she loves music.
Oh, I
She
see what you're
gets into
saying.
music because she sees the interview on TV and sees that a musician was able to overcome his introverted past through music.
Yeah.
So she's like, oh, that's how I can make some friends, get out of my shell, and overcome this, is I'll learn guitar. It wasn't because she grew up loving music with a passion for music
Yeah.
and then got into it.
Yeah.
She's using music as a tool to deal with her self-esteem issues and her anxiety. And don't get me wrong, that's beautiful in its own right. But a little part of me was like, why not just make her like love music?
Yeah.
She already
And
was,
be
and be
anxious.
anxious.
Yeah.
She already grew up in the house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they make such a point of driving home that she picks up the guitar
Yeah.
for the first time.
Yeah.
Because she finds out that musician on TV was able to come out of his shell, and even though he was like a loner in school.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, so like this isn't about music.
Not really.
See, this is where I say I hear what you're saying on that first initial
It threw
point.
me a little bit.
Yeah, the
Just a
first
bit.
initial, the first initial part.
Yeah.
But I don't think that household is very musical.
You think he just like has a guitar
He
and
just
has
has a guitar.
dabbled?
He just has he's like the dad who like pretends that you
Oh,
know
like me.
yeah, exactly.
I just thought he has a guitar,
He
and
has a
they're,
guitar.
and they're watching a band interview. So I
Yeah.
was like,
But that could happen in my house too.
right,
and they could just be on the normal ass news
Yeah.
interviewing
Yeah.
a band for
Granted,
sure.
I did play in a band and did
could
do
be
that for a
Ellen
long
on
time.
TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but you know what I mean? Like I
Totally.
don't think that family is really musical. And then she did find the love for music because it was a place where she could really focus and pour her soul into, because you don't get that good without loving music, right?
Well, that's the thing. So
Yeah.
she does come to like it and love music and get passionate about it, but it's not her reason for starting.
No, at first
Yeah.
it's a fixation.
Yeah.
And it's about getting friends.
Yes,
Right?
and actually, I do think it's kind of a musical household because the mother actually comes up to the father and it's just like, oh my god, like she's finally picking up the guitar, and the father's like all excited because he's been like waiting for this day.
Yeah.
He's been anticipating the day that she would
Yeah.
pick it up.
Yeah, yeah,
Interesting.
But she was not for it.
Yeah.
She was not into it. She was not interested in it on her own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She found it in an interesting way and in a way that backs the whole other side of the show. But it does, I think, detract a little bit from this being like a, for the passion of the music kind of show.
Yeah.
The way that Beck is.
Which is
Yeah.
interesting
Right?
because
Beck is for the fucking passion of the music. That
Oh,
is,
yeah, yeah.
they
Yeah.
don't get anywhere. Their Mount Rushmore is a
Yeah.
fucking is nothing.
Yeah.
They're doing it for the love of it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
This feels like a little bit less for the love of music and more for, the love of figuring out yourself and overcoming your own personal challenges.
For sure.
Which is
and finding
like
a place to belong and all
which is
that stuff.
beautiful in its own right, and it's what I think saves this show and makes this show stand on its own is that avenue,
Uh-huh.
and of course the fact that the music is actually good.
Yeah, the music was great. So we'll get into that. But
That
okay,
differentiates
yeah.
it as well.
So this one is mainly for the fucking gear nerds out there.
Totally, dude.
But I know this goes against my previous point, and it's actually more for your point about the household being a music household. You don't own a fucking Gibson custom like that.
Yeah.
That's a $6,000 guitar.
Yeah.
The guitar that she plays, that black one, that
Yeah.
Gibson
Yeah, it's
custom,
nice as
Yeah.
fuck.
is a fucking $6,000 guitar.
Yeah, if we're gonna compare it to me again, the guitar I have is an old Squire that got rented from Long and McQuaid and never got taken back.
Yeah.
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 I just got written off the books.
Yeah, you've never even heard of the company that made my bass.
Yeah.
I guarantee.
Yeah.
You've never even heard of the company that
That's
made
right,
my
right?
bass.
Yeah.
Right.
Tobias.
Yeah. Oh,
No,
Tobias
Tobias
Bases.
Bases, dude. That is a fucking boutique.
Mikey, you don't count.
That is
Yeah.
a boutique.
You know every bass company of all time.
That's true.
Your average person, if I was like, I play a Tobias bass, I'd be like, fuck off.
My reaction was the same as Mikey's, but to take the piss out of
Sarcastic.
you. Yeah.
See? You don't count, dude.
Yeah.
You were bass
Oh,
god.
Tobias Bases.
Yeah. Of course.
But it's so funny too. Like, not to mention, like, she finds these people who happen to own a venue, and then also
Bro.
have all the gear, like being able to play with a half stack behind you.
Not
So
to mention
lucky.
a studio
Yeah.
space attached to said venue.
Yeah.
Actually, that made me angry
Why?
because I never had that.
Dude, why studio space and venue in the same fucking place?
Yeah.
That would be incredible.
It's the dream.
Yeah. That's
that's
like
Recording live sets?
My dream.
all day
Exactly.
long.
Getting
All day
to
long.
jam
Yeah.
there whenever I want.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's very, very serendip. Would it be serendipitous, or would it be more like
There was a lot of serendipity in
Yeah.
this show.
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely.
A lot of
Absolutely.
moments. Yeah.
I agree.
right?
we'll get into them.
But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, the show's fucking funny, heartwarming.
It was kind of funny.
Kind of
Mostly
heartwarming.
heartwarming.
Are you kidding me? That one scene where all of a sudden it then switches to the fucking the dam.
Oh, that was very funny.
my God.
That was very funny.
Like, I was dying.
Yeah, I liked that as well too.
There was a
That was
lot
one of the few moments.
there was a lot of excellent like cutaways.
Yeah.
which
For
are like
bits that are
weird,
really good.
weird bits too that were like just so
were-
odd, but like
You know what
so
I hated?
great.
I hated Guitar Man explaining stuff to me.
Yeah.
I hated that with a passion.
Yeah, I guess the Guitar Man could have been toned down a little.
So we
bit,
all
but
hated it.
I didn't hate it. I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, and like I said, there were a lot of like funny references as well, cutaways to funny,
Yeah.
like a lot of Evangelion references, Fooly Cooly references, Ashita no Joe references, you know, a lot of really funny classic anime stuff, which tells me that the author of this manga, if those references are also in the manga, or the creators of the anime, depending on, were like definitely our generation.
Oh,
and
yeah.
definitely grew up on 90s anime.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Because like this is chock full of 90s anime references.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many.
I mean, we're gonna be doing Fooly Cooly FLCL.
Fuck yeah.
Soon, actually, because there's a second season. Well, not the second season, but I guess a reboot maybe.
Sort of continuation.
Yeah,
maybe?
sort of continue.
Yeah.
Anyway, coming out, so we're gonna do the original
That
one.
Studio Trigger, like gloves off, crazy.
Okay, nice.
Just absurd.
It's like it's such a
Cool.
it's that 6-episode like
blast of
blast
fun.
of fun, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll try to go in trying to have fun and
You
not
will.
trying to be a bummer.
No, you like Trigger. You like
I do.
you like everything Trigger so far.
have I? Okay, yeah.
yeah. She plays a Rickenbacker bass, like a blue Rickenbacker.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
dope.
It's
Trust
so
me,
dope.
it's dope.
That's cool. Oh, Rickenbacker bases.
Oh,
Yeah. Again, this one's for the fucking gear
Except
nerds
that's
out
actually
there.
a well-known
that's
bass
actually
company.
super well known. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Beatles? Anybody heard the Beatles?
Yeah, I heard of them.
Yeah.
They're pretty good. Okay,
Let me do my my bullshit real quick. and
Let's
then
hear your
we can
bullshit.
Start talking about this show.
let's go.
All right. Bocchi The Rock is a Japanese 4-panel manga series and anime series written and illustrated by Aki Hamaji, serialized in Hubunsha's seinen magazine, Manga Time Kirara Max, since December 2017. It has been collected in 5 tankobon volumes as of November 2022. And an anime television series adaptation was produced by Cloverworks, and it aired from October to December 2022. So the plot: extremely anxious and socially awkward Hitori Goto longs to become a rock musician in spite of her struggles, whilst fulfilling her desires to one day make friends. She is even given a chance to do so after she is taken in by Nijika Ichiji to become a member of the newly formed Kessoku Band.
Zip tie.
Sick hack.
This Sick hack was awesome. We'll talk about sick hack.
Yeah, we will. But yeah, like I said, the reception for this has been like absolutely out of control.
Yeah, what was the actual Mal score? Do you remember? It was like 8 point something.
Hold on, I can tell you 1 second.
But yeah, like it, like they're
9.
Just, oh, 9.
It's at 9 right now.
They don't
on
give
my anime
10s.
list.
They don't give 10s.
Oh wait, sorry. Oh no, wait, that's Google. My bad. 8.9.
8.9.
8.96.
8.9, 8.96.
Top tier, mid tier.
It sounds like a Mikey
low
score.
tier. Fuck you.
Mikey now runs my anime list.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Everything's got 2 scores.
Yeah. 3, actually. And then I averaged that out.
My guy.
Yeah.
And then you did divide that by 2, and then
Give both of those scores.
And then I square that number.
And so in the end you get
Profit.
Yeah.
I was gonna say 42.
42. But yeah, so but that's the thing. Like it's crazy how much higher that is than Chainsaw.
many things.
Yeah, so many things, and Chainsaw Man, right? Especially being Chainsaw Man having like been the biggest hype anime.
8.6.
8.6.
Dude, today I was talking
So
to
it's
a
not
guy.
that much higher. 8.6, 8.9.
Yeah,
but still.
but there's other
yeah.
animes between that.
Let me put it
right,
this
on the
way.
list.
I was
Regardless.
talking to a guy today at my work about
You're
the
right, Mikey,
podcast
totally.
who doesn't know anything about anime at all, and he goes, "Oh, I heard Chainsaw Man's good." There's
Yeah.
no way that guy is coming to me and going, "Oh, I heard Bocchi the Rock was good."
Yeah.
No fucking way.
Dude,
Yeah, that's
dude,
true.
Yeah.
3 or 4 months ago, if I was to place a $1 million bet
Yeah.
on which anime was going to be better, Chainsaw Man or Bocchi the Rock.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'd be a poor man.
I'd be a poor man right now.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah,
I would
very poor.
I would disagree with the outcome because I think Chainsaw Man's way better than
Okay, fair
Bocchi
enough.
the Rock. But
Yeah.
I obviously disagree with
Yeah.
the majority.
Yeah.
Bocchi, it was a sleeper. A fucking sleeper.
Yeah. At
It
some
was-
points,
it
it did
was
make me
sweet.
feel like I wanted to go to sleep.
Fuck you.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
No, you know what? It wasn't. I agree. It wasn't perfect, but it did make me feel some things, and it did. I cry at everything. So like, there were a few moments where I felt it welling up a little bit. And
Yeah?
I was, towards the end, man. You're
Yeah.
fucking really cheering for them, dude. Like,
Dude, like,
Yeah.
come on.
I got anytime Bocchi got really, really anxious and really nervous, I was feeling that too. I know what it's like to fucking step on stage nervous, unsure of yourself, imposter syndrome out the fucking ass.
Yeah.
Dude, we
You know?
all know that.
And not only
Like the
that, but
three of
shit
us.
actually goes sideways for Bocchi in ways that never went wrong for me.
Yeah.
Snapping strings, just fucking everything that could go wrong has
You never
gone
broke a
wrong.
string?
No.
Oh, it's the worst.
I've broken a string.
I haven't played that many gigs.
You never
guys,
just
let's
be in the
real.
middle of a song and there's just no sound all of a sudden?
Yeah.
That's the worst of all.
I did play one gig where people came up to me afterwards and be like, "Were you turned on?" And I look over, I'll be like, "I don't know."
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, it's a lot of weed.
Yeah.
bro.
Also,
times.
it's really
Yeah.
hard to
Yeah.
break a bass string too, just in general.
Yeah. Well, if you don't change them ever, then
Yeah,
you
I-
can do it then.
Yeah, that's true. I think
can
I've
do it
only,
then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've only ever broken like 2 strings, bass strings on a gig,
Yeah.
like out of all the gigs I've played. But
you
yeah,
go.
anyway,
You play a lot of gigs, bro. So
I did play a lot of gigs. I don't anymore. This is my gig now. This is my jam.
this is his Bocchi.
This is my Bocchi, the podcast.
All right. Are we? Do you teach us everything we need to know, Senpai?
Yeah, you guys go.
Okay. Okay. See ya.
I'm checking out.
Not much to say about the world. It is just our world in Japan.
Yes.
It is Japan this
It is-
time, right?
It is Japan.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is
Didn't
Japan.
get that wrong this time, right?
And it's a fairly straightforward Japan. It's a fairly like non-stylized Japan.
Yeah.
And it's so non-stylized that I actually find our girls here really stand out against the world.
Are we talking art wise?
Yeah, but like also
yeah.
like
Character design.
world-wise as well. Like
Yeah.
they just almost feel like they've been plucked out of a much more
Well, they're-
colorful, fun anime and
Yeah.
plopped into the world that Parasite takes place in.
They're very
Oh,
much
I see what you-
caricatures
yeah, yeah.
or archetypes of like
Yeah,
that.
they're almost too cartoony for the backdrop that they're walking around in.
Why?
Yeah, but I think
when they,
I think I like that.
Same.
though.
I like it too. It's crazy. It's like it adds to like the comedic kind of wacky nature of the show.
Yeah.
So I dig it as well.
Why, when they turn to the side, do they have snouts?
snouts.
Their faces when they turn to the side.
It comes out like that. Oh,
Yeah.
you haven't watched enough like
Yeah.
magical girl anime or something.
Oh.
Yeah.
See that? Okay,
It
yeah,
was
that's what it
distracting.
was. That's so. that's the aesthetic, right? Is you have magical girl cutie aesthetic.
Yeah. It's
like
like
character design.
Clamp-esque. It's almost Clamp, like Card Captor style, almost like
Yeah.
Card Captor
Okay.
style,
Sure.
but like
Yeah.
a little more playful.
Yeah.
But it's still very magical girlish.
But you're right.
Minus the actual magic
backgrounds
girl.
and the
Exactly.
landscapes were very like realistic
Yeah.
Yeah.
in their
The city streets and like the alleyways and like
Yeah.
the venue, you know
Yeah.
what I mean, was very gritty. The actual guitars themselves were rendered very realistically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're being held by like, Madoka Magica, but like,
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
more cartoony.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, what was the lead singer's name? The redhead.
Ikuyo?
Kita.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
like even her when she's playing her guitar, she's playing again gear nerds.
You mean her 6-string bass?
Shut the fuck
Dude,
up!
that
I'm gonna
killed
fucking smash
me,
this. I'm gonna
dude.
smash.
That was a
you.
joke from the show.
I know.
That
Okay.
was so
But
funny.
I know it's a joke from the show, but I know you said it purposefully because you know it would piss me off.
Not even. Someone's projecting. Someone's mad that I didn't like this show a lot.
I think you struck a chord of 6 strings on a bass.
Where's the fucking patch?
Jay's real proud of himself.
But
Yeah.
okay. Anyway, but like
Yeah.
she's playing a double cut Gibson, right?
Yeah.
And with this like P90, which is a very different.
Nerd.
I'm a motherfucking smack you.
Sorry, but I
Right,
get what
but-
you're
but-
saying.
but-
It's realistic.
Yeah, but like it's the juxtaposition of
Yeah.
that kind of guitar
Yeah.
with that kind of girl.
Yeah.
Right? Like you would never see that. Same with Bocchi, right? Like having her play that Gibson Custom, that
Yeah.
black one, right?
Nerd.
My God.
You're trying to say girls can't play guitar,
I'm
Mikey?
not saying girls can't play guitar. What I am saying
Yeah.
is that you just don't see it very often.
Yeah,
well,
I see what
guess
you're saying.
back in our day, you don't really see it very often. But
Yeah.
nowadays, you see all these women who are amazing musicians who do play those types of guitars, which
Yeah.
is really nice to see. But in an anime format,
I get what you're saying. In anime, no one would think to pair those two things together.
yeah.
And in this
that's the
anime,
thing,
they've
is
done it for you.
It's anime, but could it also be? And I agree with you, Mikey. You would never have fucking seen that like when we were growing up. Like,
Yeah.
no offense, but like any of the girls that I knew that were into guitar, they were starting with all the other shit everybody else was starting with, like
Yeah.
fucking Squires and like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Ibanez.
Exactly, or
Yeah.
things like that, right? Like
Or an
you wou-
acoustic.
They weren't picking up custom shops. You know what I mean? Some of the
Yeah.
guitar nerd dudes that I knew did,
Yeah.
but none of the girls. So,
But that's also.
but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
could this be a representation of the times, like you were saying? Nowadays, you go on Instagram. Instagram is full of incredible female guitar players
Yeah.
who are playing
Yeah.
Gibson custom shops.
Yeah.
Because, as with everything, the access to information and
Yeah.
the rise of the fucking internet has made all of these things super accessible. So now a girl coming up at 15 or 16 years old has the Gibson custom shop at her fingertips
Yeah.
in a way
Yeah.
that girls 10, 15 years ago didn't have access to or
Sure.
weren't being...
Yeah, even 20 years ago, right?
Well, they
Like,
were also weren't being marketed it, right? Like
Yeah.
they were marketing towards young boys, you know what I mean? Young guys. Like
Yeah.
that's who was getting all the messaging, all the magazines. For
sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Guitar
I
mag.
also
and
think
whatever.
even young guys, you're likely not starting off with that as your starter guitar.
No, but
No,
I knew guys who had outrageously expensive
Sure.
guitars even at like 15
Okay,
years
sure,
old.
sure.
I didn't know any girls, right?
Fair enough,
But
yeah.
nowadays you're seeing more guitar you're seeing more girls playing guitar.
Yeah.
And therefore you're going to see more girls getting into the nerdy shit like this.
Yeah. Which I appreciate.
And I appreciate that
I
this
don't want
show
to see
is
dudes
shining
play guitar anymore.
This show is reflecting that. It's reflecting a modern day 2023, 2022 world.
Sure.
So why wouldn't it be girls nowadays?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
It should be.
Yeah. Dude,
We all agree.
Yeah.
when she said Dingwall, as soon as she said Dingwall, I'm like, that just
What?
blew my mind.
What, Mikey?
Right there. Like,
So excited.
Like Gibson, Fender, those are the two biggest brands.
Yeah.
Ibanez is up there too now,
Yeah.
like especially in Japan.
But Dingwall.
But Dingwall.
Wow, that might as well be a Tobias.
Fuck you, man. Anyway, moving on. We're
Okay.
getting all caught up in the fucking
All good, man.
gear world.
We're talking about it.
Yo, hold on. Let me really just quickly say though, Yamada getting all of the sick gear.
Yeah.
Because she has rich parents.
Yeah.
All those guys that I knew that had outrageously.
That's why they had all the sick gear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except she did have to spend all her allowance and have to eat leaves.
she would eat
Yeah,
weeds.
leaves.
Yeah, weeds. That's right.
Yes.
Weeds, yeah.
Which
She's serious about that? She walks
Yeah.
in just munching away.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, oh my god.
By the way, can I borrow money?
she pulls that scam later. She invites her out to the cafe. She's like, I just can't eat weeds anymore.
Like, come on. That's so funny.
It was kind of funny.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
It
that's
definitely
moments.
had moments, man. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think it's as dense as Asobi Asobase either.
Yeah.
No.
I think very few anime shows are as like many jokes per minute as Asobi Asobase,
Yeah.
but like this is right up there, man. This is
Yeah.
definitely one of the funnier animes I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, but the other thing too, the Asobi Asobase jokes are like much more wild in the fact where this
That's
Way
what I'm
crazy.
saying.
Yeah,
These
right?
jokes, your guys are gonna get mad at me, but one thing I wrote down is like it kind of reminded me a bit of like Big Bang Theory, where the jokes are so obvious and they hurt me. But at the same time, I still wanted the hot girl to date the nerdy dude when I watched it back in the day. You know what I mean? Like I got invested in them getting together, and that's what happened with this show. The jokes were like not like I don't know. They weren't exciting. They weren't hilarious.
Should I bring up the English dubbed elephant in the room
Oh, no, I didn't watch English dub.
for this?
I don't think there is an English
I don't
dub, or if
think
there
there
was,
is
I couldn't
one.
find it.
Thank the Lord.
So go fuck your goddamn elephant.
yeah.
Right in the snout.
No, I was just gonna say because the same thing happened with Kill la Kill because they were entirely different jokes written
Yeah.
for the dub versus the
Yeah,
sub.
you're right.
But
You're right.
But
A
I
lot-
also-
these are all visual jokes, though. 90% of them.
Yeah,
that's the
that's
other
true.
thing,
Yeah.
though, right? Like they're all visual in the cutscenes into like the real world where she's like a I don't know, clay doll or whatever.
Yeah.
Right, like, but
yeah, I
that's the
forgot
thing,
about
right?
that.
It's also, you know, you're talking about a show that's also like PG-13 as opposed to Asobi Asobase, where like you're blasting beams out of your ass,
Still PG-13.
but it's just oddly still PG-13.
I love Japan.
yeah, it's the best. Japan's wild. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
right.
But yeah, anyway, it's just Japan.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
That's the
let's.
world.
We also talked about art, so let's skip over that at this point too.
Yeah, yeah.
Unless you want to talk more. Mikey got to nerd about music instruments, so you can nerd about art if you want.
The art, I liked it. Another thing that we definitely brought up in Beck and similarly in Initial D is like they really went for like
Yeah.
they're actually playing the music.
Yes.
I was gonna say, I would say
That
they
was
went
a
for
good
like
idea.
I love when they do
accurate
that.
forms on the hands, but I
love
wouldn't
it.
say intricate enough to show like their fingers were on the right frets.
It might not
Yeah.
be exact,
But things were the right shapes.
an effort was made.
I
Yes.
agree.
And I appreciate that always.
Yeah.
Yeah, where like in Beck, you know, he's at a solo, like he's still strumming, right? Like this
yeah.
one.
But then there were close-ups in Beck where they were actually
Right
fingering
on.
the correct
Yes.
frets. And like I appreciated that. In Initial D, you know, it's cars, but like
Yeah.
it actually cut to his feet and he was
Yeah.
actually doing the proper pedal patterns for drifting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they put in an effort.
Yeah.
You know?
I love how Beck and Initial D always come up together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why is
yeah.
that?
Because they're the same show, just cars versus music.
Yeah, it's kind of true. That is very
No,
true.
no, not true.
No, but like basically,
It's
No, not really, dude. No. No.
don't tell me in your brain they don't occupy a similar space.
They do, I think, because of the time in our lives. Because I think back to back, Beck pissed you off and Initial D pissed me off.
It definitely happened.
No,
The one
no,
was-
no, listen.
Initial
It's-
D was a revenge watch.
Mikey, break the time here,
This
buddy.
is what it is, man. It's because it's all about fucking boy power fantasies, right? Where
Yeah.
you either want to be a fucking rock star or a cool fucking race car driver,
driver.
right?
Oh,
It's
yeah,
just a
you're right.
power
Absolutely.
fantasy.
Yeah.
And it's a
That's
climb to the
yeah.
top, both
Yeah.
of them.
I want to be a rock star so bad.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
It's just that Takumi never loses. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
homeboy from Beck stumbles the whole fucking way to that festival at the end.
Yeah,
That's true.
which
The other
is
difference is
much more
Takumi
realistic.
literally just has to like race the next guy, race the next guy, race the next guy. There's no plot.
Formulaic.
Beck had a lot of like story going on. and-
That's very true.
So they're not the same show.
But they
did I spit on
occupy-
you? I'm sorry.
No,
Did
it's
I-
okay. But it's just the
got
fact
excited.
that he it occupies the same space.
I get what you're saying. Fair
Right.
enough.
Yeah.
That was
That's
the
what
argument.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
In my head.
I'm totally with you.
Thank you.
I agree now too. I agree now too.
Shut up, Jordy.
Okay.
Speaking of rock stars, let's talk about the music.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the music was pretty good.
It rips. You know right
It
from the
rips.
beginning.
It starts right off giving you like 90s alt rock vibes, and then later on, it's like a full on like a post hardcore band, like a post punk band.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like,
Some intricate riffing.
well,
Totally.
not only that, it's like you also get to appreciate where she has so much knowledge, like being this, masked YouTube star.
Yeah.
Where you see like all the alt rock and like even classic rock influences.
When she's doing
that-
covers and stuff.
covers
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that, right? So like
Yeah.
it's not like she's just going for the new stuff. Like I find that a lot of musicians that really get into their craft
Yeah.
will actually go backwards very far in music.
Yeah.
Right? To
Yeah.
learn what all their predecessors have
Yeah.
learned and done before.
The influences of your influences of your influences.
Yeah,
Those
right?
lifelong music fans, right? People that have like done
Yeah.
their homework and loved music
Yeah.
for long enough now to know enough.
Yeah.
It's not somebody who just got into music a few weeks ago and was like, I gotta do something with this.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
it's not always about the current, pop or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
It was definitely a unique sound. Is it a real band?
yeah,
I'm assuming.
Like Kessoku Band?
I'm assuming that's not their name, but I'm assuming they hired a band to write the songs and perform the songs for the show.
So they released the music on an album. Like it was all released
under this
digitally.
band name.
Under Kessoku Band.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
I'm probably gonna listen to that.
I don't know if it was the voice actors involved.
I doubt it.
I don't think
I would have
so,
thought it
but
would be an existing band.
I'm looking for that. I'm
could
not
see-
seeing that.
Yeah.
I can definitely see that, but
Interesting.
like I could also just see them getting a bunch of musicians, like session musicians, and
Yeah.
making a band for this,
Yeah,
right? Making original songs,
that's true too.
right? So
While you're looking for that, there was a quote that Rio, who is the bassist, you talk to them by you say their last names, eh?
Sometimes.
Okay. Well,
yeah,
I
because
say
it's
other names.
interchangeable, right?
Ryu had a quote where he said, "Rock is the music of perpetual underdogs. Is it even rock if it's sung by winners?" And that really struck a chord with me.
So you did like this anime?
I like parts of it. I didn't say I hated it.
He didn't hate it.
Yeah, I didn't say I hated it. I'm not. Yeah, I didn't say.
Also, Ryu is a girl.
Did I not? Did I say boy?
Yeah, you said boy.
Oh,
But
sorry.
anyway, doesn't matter.
I said girl earlier. All rock stars are boys.
Yeah, you fucking misogynist.
Yeah.
Okay, so the girls, at least the singer, did do the music.
Oh, the voice actor.
Yeah, some of the songs.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot
At
of
least
voice
some of
actors
them.
are singers too, right? And a lot of actors are just generally singers,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
You got to diversify your talents if
Yeah,
you want to
what-
make it in Hollywood, this crazy world.
But whether it's serious or not, right? Because like the Dragon Maid girls, like they all put out like an album from like the Dragon Maid theme songs where they all sing it.
You love that,
cool.
don't you?
I adore it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like hell to me.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah. Me and hell, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And me dancing around you listening to those songs.
You would like that.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
this has gotten awkward, guys.
Yeah. We knew it was going to. All right, let's talk about our girls, our characters.
Yes,
We'll talk about Bocchi first
Bocchi.
because she's the girl. We already kind of established a lot of her plot points of her social anxiety. You know what I mean? Which, again, there's like a combo of low-key and upfront growth on this. You know what I mean? Like an example of low-key is like, at first she like can't say a word to people, and then eventually you don't even see it happening, but she starts hanging out with her bandmates like a normal human being.
Yeah, you go
You know what I
from
mean?
like being inside the mango box,
Yeah,
to
exactly.
like, she's at a counter saying,
Yeah.
hello, and like,
And
can
then-
I take your order?
And then there's moments where they make a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
Like when she finally serves a drink.
yeah,
Or there's a moment where they're playing a show and she opens one eye.
Yeah.
And it's a huge deal.
Yeah.
And they spend a lot of time talking about it.
That's what I'm saying. Okay,
But it's so sweet,
yes,
man. That's so
right?
adorable, and it's so real. You have to fucking celebrate the little
Some of
things.
those
The
parts were a
little
little
wins.
heavy-handed for me, to be
No,
honest with you.
but here's the thing. So okay, like
I like the low-key ones better.
It becomes a bit.
yeah, well, like having worked like because. So for maybe some of our newer listeners, like I used to work as a child and youth worker and working with kids who have like multiple diagnoses, like you have to celebrate those little wins, right? Because that's what's
Yeah.
going to motivate them to do that next step, because you can't just go from like point A to point C, right? You got to go to point A and a half before you even go to point B, right? Like it's just those little things. And not to mention you have a whole group of people who are very understanding,
Yeah.
very supportive,
Yeah.
and not to mention, like, sure, they don't really understand her completely, but they're
Yeah.
also figuring her out and not judging her for it.
For sure.
Right? But they are a little bit perplexed. But then when like having all of that be them being her cheerleader was amazing to watch.
Yeah, I didn't hate it, dude. I just thought some of the moments, like Jay said, became a bit a bit heavy-handed, and I liked it more when it was happening like gradually. When I noticed, I was like, "Oh, she's chilling so casually right now."
Yeah.
You go, Bocchi.
Bocchi.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Those
I think
are the moments I like.
You know, she's obviously
botched it.
she's obviously going off of like a lot of momentum.
Yeah.
And each little thing kind of propels her into the next. Other than that, I mean, the only other thing that kind of really propels her out of her shell significantly, I guess, more so early on, but is when she's no longer the new person.
Yeah. Yeah.
That changes her disposition big time, and all of
Yeah.
a sudden she starts becoming almost like a little bit of like a mentor.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Legitimately, she has to teach the girl how to play guitar.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
literally, yeah, but
Yeah.
like just even socially, like within the social dynamic
Yeah.
in the group and stuff.
Yeah.
she settles in at
Yeah.
that point. And I know what that's like. I mean, anybody who started a new job or gone to like a new school or something, like as soon as you're no longer labeled as the new guy,
Yeah.
like that's a good feeling.
Yeah. Another new guy comes, you're like, fuck you, new guy.
Yeah. Yeah. New guy. New guy. Hey, new guy.
It's the new guy. Yeah, we all do. Yeah.
You guys have got a lot of things to unpack, man.
Yeah.
Somebody walks by and they're just like, you're still the new guy.
Yeah. You're like, but no, he's the new guy.
No, you're still the
New
guy.
guys.
Yeah. Speaking of unpacking things, just a weird little thing that maybe only I have insight on, but like her social anxiety at her age in life is like
Your daughter.
a bit of a parenting fail, I want to say. And like, trust me when I say it's hard out there to support a child. Don't get me wrong. But how do parents who seem so loving and caring end up with a girl like that in high school who has no tools to deal with her anxiety?
Well,
Just thrown to the wolves.
I mean, if you did do that, then you wouldn't have Bocchi the way she is, and you wouldn't have a show or a manga.
That's would have been fine with me too.
You piece of shit.
Oh man.
I'm just saying, seeing as I love it. Seeing as how I'm a person who maybe has some like very clear insight in this, I'm like, oh, that girl needs help, and she doesn't look like she's getting any, and that kind of bummed me out a little bit for a minute.
and I do get that
Yeah.
too, right? There's some things that, like, especially if we're gonna make things really bring things in
Yeah.
like how realistic it could be, right? Like,
Wait, were you a social worker with child and youth?
no, I'm just saying, fuck you, man.
Sorry.
Just saying, right?
Yeah.
Right? Like you got to gloss over some of that stuff because it
I know.
is entertainment at the end of the
I know.
day.
I know.
But,
Something also, and maybe this is a nitpick and something that just probably isn't a big deal, but like her social anxiety was like largely used as a comedic tool in a show that's about her overcoming her social anxiety. And I'm like, maybe that's a smidge tone deaf. A smidge.
For some,
For some.
it's gonna be divisive,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
But I think by and large, I mean, I speak for obviously only myself and some of my peers, but like a lot of people I know, and myself included,
Yeah.
we like to laugh about it.
Yeah.
I suffer from all of these things. I have my
Yeah.
whole life, a lot longer than Bocchi has
Sure.
at this point in the story.
Yeah.
And I'm at a point now where like the more I can laugh about it, the better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Truly,
enough,
laughing
yeah.
is a huge coping mechanism for humans just in
Huge.
general.
Yeah.
It is
right?
going to turn some people off though, because
Yeah.
you're right, man.
Yeah.
Like it for some people, it is very serious. And,
Yeah.
and it shouldn't be played off as you know so slapsticky.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm definitely more on like, you know, coping with humor is a really good thing because it doesn't let things be as heavy, because once it feels heavy and you take it so seriously,
Yeah.
then it just bogs you down.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
and yeah, like
It's true.
I don't know. Like I feel like I think they did a good and fun job, especially with the type of humor that they're going for in this.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's totally. I think it's okay.
All right. Okay, let's move on because we're fucking well into this episode and we're still
Yeah.
talking about characters.
Jesus Christ.
We'll talk about the basis Rio for a second. I found there was a weird juxtaposition between her and Bocchi because one is a loner and one is lonely. Do you get what I'm saying? Rio doesn't want to hang out with people. She's just her own singular person.
Yeah.
And Bocchi's same, but she desperately wants to hang out with people. And I was like,
One's alone by choice, the other is not.
a weird
Yeah.
little juxtaposition between the two of them.
Yeah, I also think that, like, going back to our other point where, like, so she kind of holds up in her closet and whatnot, but there is
Yeah.
a big culture in Japan where, like, people do that, right?
Yeah, by choice.
They shut in
Yeah.
their needs because they have social anxiety, or like they don't want to
Yeah.
be in the real world because of the stresses of the culture and stuff like that. They have literal animes about that.
Same. Real world
Right.
sucks.
Yeah, sometimes that's why we watch anime. Well, that's why I watch so much anime.
Yeah, it sucks out there.
Oh, that got sad.
Hey, let's laugh at it.
Yes, exactly.
There you go. Rio also has huge bassist energy.
That's
Like
so this
such
is,
a bassist.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. There's that stereotypical.
Yeah.
Like I was not that kind of bassist.
No.
Right, and
You
neither
weren't,
are you.
you're right.
Neither were you.
No, but I'm not a bassist.
Oh yeah, you're
You know
more
what
of
I
a
mean?
singer, and
I
like,
got
I
frontman
don't think
energy.
you were either.
Sorry, what?
You had that stereotypical bass energy.
You have a little bit of bassist energy.
All right, a little bit.
Yeah.
little
a little
bit.
bit.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
probably
A little
more
bit.
so than
You know what?
others.
Actually, Mikey, you do have bassist energy.
Oh, how?
You're such a gear nerd. You're obsessed with bass playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're like
But like I'm talking like
you're a bass player who like knows what it means to be a bass player, really deeply.
yeah, but I'm not. My demeanor isn't just like, hey, I'm tricking you into.
I'm a bass player.
Yeah, I'm not playing off
here's-
that like cool like.
Here's
hey,
here's the
guys.
here's the best way to put it, okay? And you can't blame this on being like active in a current band right now, and that's not a slight. You're not active in a current
No,
band.
no, no,
right
no,
now,
no,
right? Right. But when we listen to music or when I show you K-pop and stuff, what is the one musical instrument that you're looking for in every song and is like a prerequisite for you to like the fucking song? Jordy,
A funky bass line.
a funky bass line!
Shut the fuck. That's not always the
I'm
case.
just saying,
Not always the
it
case.
is.
99.9.
And this is you
of the time.
removed from playing all the time, which means
Yeah.
that it is still what you are drawn to most, and
Yes.
therefore I think it speaks the most to your
It's my
your-
sensibilities.
your soul.
Yeah.
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 Everybody's got one, dude.
Fuck.
Uh-huh.
I just got
Honestly,
called out.
I most recently played bass, but when I was in high school and I played my first ever gigs ever,
Yeah.
I actually played guitar.
Yeah.
And I've actually been more interested in guitar
Yeah.
and more of a guitar nerd in my life
You
than
know
I
what?
have been a bass.
You actually have guitarist
nerd.
energy. And you have bassist
Yeah.
energy and I
I
have
just
singer
always
energy.
sucked at it, so
Yeah.
I was like, bass is easier.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can smoke a ton of weed
Yeah.
and then play and
Yeah.
still like not fuck it up. you know?
Bass is the stoner's guitar.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking
I
of
was a pretty big
energy,
stoner though too.
Nijika does have big drummer energy. She also has big lead guitarist energy for a not lead
Yes.
guitarist.
Yes. She's the one with the biggest dream though, right?
She is, right? But that's lead guitar energy.
Yeah.
And she's not lead guitarist, but she's the leader of the band.
But the lead, see, here's the thing: the lead guitar, like when I think lead guitar
Yeah.
energy, I think of the biggest ego.
Oh, you're right. Yeah,
Like,
good point.
and same with like the front man. Like usually singers who are like Axl from Guns N' Roses,
Sure,
right?
yeah.
Like have that ego. Like you're the only one, really, one of the few people that I know as a singer that
Yeah.
doesn't have singer ego or guitar ego.
In my last band, I never once sang with my eyes open. Couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it.
Yeah, this is definitely not like an insult at all, but like you don't have frontman energy,
Oh, really?
but you have frontman voice.
Yeah.
That 99.9% of frontmen would fucking kill for.
Well, thank
if
you.
people don't know,
Ah.
Yeah.
if people don't realize, if you guys haven't fucking done your homework or checked it out yet, Jordy's voice
Stop.
is absolutely out of
No,
control.
yeah.
And not to say you don't. When I say you don't have frontman energy, I mean you don't have like Mikey said, like the ego.
Yeah.
It's like the pretentious,
Yeah.
like assholeness. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like you as a frontman is like sweet and charming.
Okay.
Typical frontman like jock
It's like, look at my
energy.
dick.
Exact is like the Axl Rose. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It totally is.
All
that.
right.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest part about this band in Bocchi is that none of them have egos, right?
No,
like
you're right.
Rio does a little bit just by like,
But I think
But
she's just doesn't get it. I don't think she has
Yeah.
an ego. I think she just like is obsessed with the bass and
Yeah,
obsessed
she's-
with music.
a little bit socially inept in a
Yeah.
way, right? Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, she doesn't really have like a pretentious ego.
I get what you're saying,
Yeah,
though.
you know what I mean? Like,
I do.
Yeah.
I also said that I think Kita does have frontman energy. She's such a front woman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she shines on stage.
Yeah.
They
That's what she-
immediately make her front of house.
Yeah.
At the club.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, this is gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
Also love her Keats aura.
Yeah.
That made me laugh. But more so than it happening was Bocchi's reaction to it every time. Like she just couldn't. It was too much for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Kita is probably my favorite character. in
You
the
think
show.
so?
I think so.
Really?
If I had to pick a bias.
My favorite character is 100% the bass player of what the fuck is the other band?
Sick hack.
Sick Hack.
Heck. Yeah.
The drunk bass player of Sick Hack is my favorite character.
She is definitely my favorite too.
Actually, maybe Waifu.
Oh! no.
How old is she though?
She's like in her 20s.
Like, okay,
yeah, she's
maybe
she's
waifu.
Yeah, she's. Wow.
I would fucking hang with her. Is what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say.
you would.
I would hang
I think
her.
we would all hang with her.
She would smash a bottle of tequila with me.
Yeah.
Late 20s.
Late
I'll take
20s.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
let's go.
she's
Thank you very much for looking that up.
Yeah, she's cute as fuck.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
not only cute, she's an amazing bass player.
Hilarious
And-
drunk.
Hilarious
A
drunk.
good,
Yes.
dedicated friend.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Right?
Chill vibes.
Yeah.
Positive vibes.
Bit
all
of a
the time.
mentor,
Yeah.
right?
Definitely. Excellent
Yeah.
pick.
Yeah.
Excellent pick.
You know, minus the drinking, I was her.
That's bonus points for me.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you were her.
I was her
Oh.
minus the drinking.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, for the most part, right?
I would chill with you.
Yeah, well, we do.
Yeah, except she's an actual alcoholic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
But,
But we can work on that.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, that's,
We can work on that. The only other
No, we're not.
person I feel like is worth talking about before we get into it is the manager / sister, who's kind of an interesting character because she starts off kind of a bitch, like bestowing compliments on them as if she's such a huge deal.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna need to hear this from me.
Yeah.
Hey, you're killing it out there.
You
Yeah.
like she wants to have cool big sister energy.
Yeah,
But
she's
doesn't
fucking
really
it up.
have it.
She's
Yeah,
fucking it
yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah.
She's
Yeah.
gatekeeping opportunities from them, and she thinks it's for their own good, but it's still kind of shitty.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what? It's funny because for her, I get where she's coming from.
Yeah,
Right? Because you do want people, especially, you know, the young guys or the young girls or
Yeah.
young binary friends, like
Yeah.
non-binary friends. We want them to know what it is in the music industry, what it's really like, because once you get hit with it, you know, sometimes it is really hard.
yeah,
Right. And it's sometimes very deflating. It's
Sure.
sometimes very, like, you know, unmotivating. And so
Yeah.
so if you kind of understand that a little bit early on and
Yeah.
you can persevere, I think
Uh-huh.
that's what her goal really was.
yeah. I get you.
Yeah, so
Speaking of LGBTQ friends, I fully ship her and the goth girl who runs the soundboard at Starry
100%.
Nightclub.
100%. Also,
I
that
love them together.
The goth girl,
Yeah,
like there's something about her too
yeah.
where it's like I wish we got a little bit more of her.
I was always interested when she'd pop in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always be like, what's about to happen here?
Yeah, like I want to know a little. I just want to know.
She's kinda-
more of her. She's
She's
so
like a silent
mysterious.
observer. She's just hanging out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when the manager is kind of being a bitch, she's like, "You're kind of being a bitch." That's her whole role in the whole thing. Yeah.
Actual cool big sister energy.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Okay, that's it for characters. Oh, guys. Okay. Let's get into it.
Let's
All right.
rip through this.
We'll try. Okay, so we already established how the show starts. What's her name? Bocchi is, trying to make friends. She sucks at it. She learns how to play guitar. She's at school. She ends up like deciding to bring her guitars to school because she's like, that's how I'll make friends. I'll just bring it.
People will see me with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And that will
Weirdly,
equal friends.
It works because she
Yeah.
runs into Nijika, who's
Yeah.
like, I need a guitarist in my band for a show.
Yeah.
You're it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, okay. So suddenly she's like in the band, playing a show at a club, having a legit panic attack in a mango box.
I love the mango.
Yeah.
The mango box. Yeah, I know. It's
Right?
so good.
And it
Bizarre.
was just so comforting to her because she loves being claustrophobic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She has a quote that I like about all this too, where she says at one point at the end of an episode, she goes, real life's scary, but I feel like there's some fun stuff coming up. And I'm like, that's the whole show. That one
Yeah.
quote. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I appreciated. When they find out after the first show, they're like, hey, you're so good at guitar, but like you cannot vibe with other musicians.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you
She's never played with anybody.
never alone. She's subwater flea. Right?
Well, yeah, but like we also, I don't know
Yeah.
if we mentioned, but like she had that like online persona, like
Yeah.
almost like a
Yeah.
sound.
Oh, right, we didn't
she's
mention
like
that.
a SoundCloud
Guitar Hero is her
guitar,
name.
Yeah, but she's
Yeah.
like an unknown SoundCloud.
She's the fucking do.
They even say
Guitarist
she has
virtuoso.
30,000
Yeah.
followers
Yeah.
online.
Yeah,
they
she's
say
a
at this
prodigy.
point. That's
I don't know
right.
if anybody. Do any of you guys know who the do is?
the do.
The dude's. No, he's a fucking like guitar like virtuoso. Like he's
Okay.
a really amazing guitar player.
Yeah.
And piano player, actually,
Yeah.
just musician in general. But he doesn't show his face.
Okay.
Right. And like it's kind of like that where like he's super famous.
It's probably like John Mayer or something.
Oh God, could you imagine? That'd be weird.
I wouldn't put it past him. Okay, so there's a bunch of bits that we start getting
Yeah.
introduced to, like she gets in a garbage can, things like that. You know, all the like little quirks of her introverted like anxiety and whatnot. She gets the nickname Bocchi. They play a show in the Mango Box. I already said that. After the show, which is kind of funny, Nijika's like, "Let's go party," and Bocchi's like, "No, I need to go to sleep," which actually is like a real like thing that happens when you like have to go through something that like causes you a lot of anxiety. Afterwards, you might be like, "No, I need to have a nap."
Yeah, there's
Nap
like
time.
the amount of emotional energy that is expelled
Yeah.
to cope with all that.
Oh, it'll get you.
Drains you hard.
So the more they are talking about being in a band, she's learning about what it is to be in a band, and they talk about something that's kind of fucked me up, which was the ticket sales quota.
Oh God,
God.
yeah.
That made me really mad, dude.
Yeah.
So the way it works basically is to get a show, they have to contract to X amount of tickets sold.
Yeah.
If they don't sell that many tickets, they have to pay out of pocket.
Yeah.
Which
But
makes
not only
me,
that,
Yeah.
what they do sell, they get half
Yeah.
of what they sell.
Yeah.
The house gets the other half.
Yeah.
So the
I
house,
mean,
the house is getting the door sales,
Yeah.
and it's getting
Half of their sales.
every group sales as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not to get too into the weeds about like playing shows, but like as a musician, we all would agree like a band should get paid an amount that they're worth.
Yes.
Yes.
And ticket
Set.
sales, fine. Venue, take the ticket sales because you've confirmed that you'll pay me what we are going to be paid
Yes.
for.
The show organizer takes the responsibility.
Yes. So the only thing that I can like, yes, as us when we were playing regular gigs,
Yeah.
that pissed us off 100%. But for a band like this who's just starting,
Yeah.
doesn't really have their own music, like they played a cover, I think, and like it, you know, I get it, right? Like it was like back in the
don't.
It's like back in the day, you had pay to play, which is fucking so stupid.
That's what this is.
Well, but essentially, yeah. But like,
Yeah.
as if you don't meet your quote, right?
Yeah.
But for a beginning band in high school, like, come on, man. Like we
It was the best available.
well, yeah, the best. That's
I'm
exactly,
not saying don't take it, but I'm saying that's fucked of a venue.
It's still wrong.
It's wrong
Yes.
of the promoter to make that the
and
deal.
it's fucked that this
Yes.
venue is like
Run by her
run
sister.
by her fucking family.
Yeah. She
Okay, that's
lives
fair.
upstairs on top of
And
it.
she's just fleecing her little
Yeah.
sister and making this way more difficult on her than
She's
it has to be.
gatekeeping the opportunities. Like,
Yeah.
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 100%.
she's. This is what I'm saying. She's
Yeah.
giving her a dose of reality.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you know that she's built this venue for her.
Well, we find that out. That
Yeah.
it's a whole thing.
Right. Like.
yeah.
Yeah. Like she always has a spot. For
And
her,
again,
no matter
she's
what.
trying, but she's doing a shitty job at it. Okay, so they decide because of this fucking ticket quota that they're like, well, we'll just get jobs so we can pay for the tickets we're clearly not going to sell.
Yeah.
And so they get jobs at the club,
Yeah.
all of them. And Bocchi's so rattled
Ponzi
about
scheme
it.
is just expanding
yeah,
here.
yeah.
The club is just sitting there like,
Yeah. yeah, literally. Club, by the way, her sister.
yes, family.
Yeah. Okay, so Bocchi's so freaked out about it because she's never had a job. She doesn't want to interact with people. So she like tries to get ill, which was like a little funny bit, I guess.
Yeah.
She gets this little pep talk from her bandmates about solidarity and also about like integrity and respect for the fans that come out to the show. Like you have to treat them, you know, like they came out for this. Like sell them a fucking drink, and she sells them a drink.
Yes.
And it's a huge deal.
Well, the fact that she sold them a drink while standing above the counter.
Yeah.
Because she was serving up drinks crouched underneath, and just the hand would just pop up and pass the drink.
Yeah.
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 Really funny.
Yeah, it was. It was sweet. Also,
That was sarcastic.
I know, jackass. In Japan, though, they do have these gigs that happen quite frequently, especially with like J-pop groups.
Yeah.
Where there's small underground venues like this where
Yeah.
people will go to these shows like before work.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I would love if that was the thing here.
Fully dressed up in their business suits and shit.
Yeah.
And they're just like,
Sick.
Yeah.
Is that what they're?
yeah.
Tongues lolling out of their mouths. Yeah. I love it. Okay, so Bocchi, another thing we didn't touch on is her like loneliness at school factor. It's kind of sad to me. This kind of stuff hits close to home. We've talked about, but like she eats lunch alone and is like fully crying about it alone by herself. And she is telling herself things like, it's probably for the best. I'm like, dude, someone help this fucking girl, man.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. So she, during all this going on, the band needs a singer, and Bocchi hears about Kita at her school. And she's like, I got to talk to her, and she can't. Then she like sits in her little secret spot under the stairs and performs a song called Double Dark Past, Bocchi acoustic version. Which, by the way, is a solid sad girl jam.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. I was
Yeah.
like, this is totally your lane.
This
As soon
music.
as those vocals came in, I'm like, oh, okay, now we're good.
Yeah.
This is not Beck.
No. Again, I would love an entire version of Bocchi acoustic versions, personally. And then Kita hears her playing and finds her, and we find out that Kita was the guitarist that ran away from her band.
Yeah.
Like right before a show.
Yeah, because
ditched
she
them.
lied about
'Cause
being
she
able
lied.
to,
She just lied.
be able to
Yeah.
play guitar.
And then Bocchi brings Kita back to the band, and they're like, that's all good.
yeah.
We'll teach you how to play guitar, and you're good. Which, honestly, like, they're sweethearts, so that's all right. And this is where we find out she got the 6-string bass,
Yeah.
which actually did make me laugh. That was a funny joke.
It's like when I
killed
used to
me.
call like people and ask them if they had a left-handed piano.
Music store employee
You
jokes.
asshole.
Music store employee jokes.
music store employee jokes.
Yeah, that's not funny to anyone else. Any other group of person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like 2 of our fans that are music store employees at home right now being like,
Hey, nice.
yeah, or left-handed guitar strings.
Okay.
Those jokes are just for me.
Yep. They are. Okay, so they have a band
fuck.
meeting, and they're trying to take on roles to be more, as they put it, band-like. Roles like running the socials, starting a fan club, making merch, and also something called profos,
Yeah.
which we would call promos.
yes.
But they call it profos. When they do take the profos, Bocchi prints 1 million of them and puts them all over her room. And she has this insane giggle before the show ends that actually I kind of loved.
Yeah.
But that's her finally feeling the joy of having friends that
Yeah.
moment.
The excitement.
And it's
Right.
insane because she's never felt that before.
Yeah, the dopamine hit that she's getting,
Yeah.
and like she's also worried that she'll never have it again. So
Yeah.
she kind of goes to the extreme.
Yeah. Also, without getting too hard into the weeds about it, but like this whole taking on roles is kind of a big deal for me because every band I've been in, we have these meetings
Yes.
where we realize at the end that we are like a couple of people who play what we think is pretty good music, but we're not social media managers. We're not financiers. We're not merch designers, except for Jay. Like those roles don't necessarily exist within the group of bandmates, and that
Yeah.
makes it so hard. You got to outsource those things or really put in the effort to get good at them.
Yeah.
We don't have to get into
I
it, though.
mean, yeah, we could get into the weeds.
We can
about
have a
that
whole
really-
podcast
yeah,
about that.
Yeah. But anyway,
Jay's like, I don't know. I was always really good at making merch designs for my bands.
but that's okay. Well, let's get into it just a little bit. But it's
Okay.
like, anytime you're in a band, and we've said this before on the back episode, like you're in a relationship. It's like having, depending on how many members, it's like having like 4 other girlfriends or 4 other boyfriends or
Yeah.
whatever, right?
I have a quote about that from this show, too. They say, it's a mysterious relationship, closer than friends or significant others.
Yes.
And I'm like, it is goddamn mysterious
Yes,
sometimes.
it is, right? Because like even the 3 of us doing this podcast, it's like a band for us. We all have our roles. We
Yeah.
all have our thing.
Yeah.
Right. We all have our jobs. Right. Like.
Yeah. And we had to learn new things and like figure out how we're going to do it.
But like because triples is best, so like it all worked out. And you know what I mean?
true.
Like, but we're also very close in this very mysterious way.
Yeah. Like
Touch
touching each other.
guys.
They're touching each other.
Jay's like, we weren't supposed to tell people that.
Yeah. See, we hang out with each other way too.
Yeah, we do.
You guys have known each other for longer, clearly.
Yeah, we've touched each other a few more times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay. For the next little while, you just touch us, and we'll catch you up.
Onlyfans.com.
Onlyfans.com. We actually have one
Okay,
this time.
let's not talk about OnlyFans in this show. That's weird.
Okay.
Okay, so Bocchi's job is to write the lyrics. She pulls out her old lyric book, which actually, same. So many times when I had to write lyrics to a song, I was like, let me look at my old books. And then I look through them and I'm like, no, none of this. And she says she doesn't want depressing lyrics, though. Nobody wants that. Plus, I want to write lyrics that are appropriate for Kita to sing because Kita's aura is so bright and happy. She's like, I got to write a song for her. She ends up, side note, I want the Bocchi solo project with all the depressed lyrics.
Yes.
That's what I want. I said that. I'll say it again. That's my type of music.
Yeah. Sad girl music.
That's it. Okay, so she ends up writing a song and meeting up with Rio at the cafe, where Rio just fleeces her for lunch because she doesn't want to eat weeds anymore. And Rio gives her clutch advice where she basically just says, honestly, write honestly.
Yeah.
Like, don't worry about Kita. Write your lyrics because they'll be better. And I agree.
Well, I mean, but I think that's a very poignant part in this series right now because that I think we're just glossing over a little bit too much because she was in a previous band and she left because of how dishonest they were to their music and their art,
Yep.
right?
Yep. To be fair, my last band, towards the end, we were trying to think of like, okay, well, like, how do we turn some heads? And we were like, well, maybe we'll write some poppier songs. And we started going in that direction. And if we had like kept going, which we might again one day, but if we had kept going actively, we would have turned back from that turn. Because
Yeah.
it didn't feel good.
No.
It didn't feel good.
No.
Another interesting thing about that scene is she just kind of passively says like, I've never hung out just alone with Rio before. And it ends up like being kind of nice. And I'm like, I have those moments and memories too when you're in a band.
Yep.
And maybe you haven't hung out with the one guy alone before, and then you do, and it's nice.
Yeah, you get those bonding moments,
Yeah.
more opportunities,
Yeah.
right?
And for a person with social anxiety like Bocchi, that's huge for her. Because that's like making a new friend. Even though you've been hanging out with these people, that person's now like a friend. You made a bond, like you said, Mikey. Okay, they debut their new song. Not for us. We don't get to hear it yet, but
No.
they do. And the sister denies them a gig because they suck. She literally basically tells them, like, you guys aren't that good. You can't play. And she's like, you're going to have to do a proper audition, basically. She tells them, come back, do a proper audition. So they're all kind of practicing and working. And Bocchi is, like, again, visibly more comfortable hanging out. This is kind of gradually happening. And we finally do get the performance. And the song is called Guitar, Solitude, and the Blue World, which is the worst name for a song ever, but it kind of slaps.
It fucking slaps.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah. And they do get the gig, but they have to sell 5 tickets each, which most of them are like, hey, this will be easy. And Bocchi starts freaking out. She's like, Mom, Dad, my sister, my dog. And there's a 5th one, but she just keeps repeating that. Mom, Dad, sister, dog, over and over and over again. It's like, the dog can't come to your show. Which her mom tells her later,
And your
quite
sister
plainly.
can't come
Yeah,
either.
exactly. This is where we also get the damn when she vomits.
Yes.
Which was funny.
Which was hilarious.
Probably the best
Oh my
joke.
god.
Okay, so Bocchi's wandering around and she's freaking out. She's like, how am I going to sell these tickets? And a literal drunkard wanders up to her in the street. She ends up helping this drunk person, buying her food. She's getting fleeced left, right, and center.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Constantly, man. This girl ends up being, I forget her name already,
Same.
Kikuri.
Fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's the basis of a band. Excuse me. And she's like basically explaining to them how you got to do it. You got to be confident, whatever. Hey, I've got an idea. Let's do a street concert. And Bocchi's like, what? And she's like, no, I'll get my gear and we'll just play right now. And for somehow Bocchi's just like, okay, and she just does it.
Yeah, well, she's too socially anxious to
Say no, exactly. So she does it. And like the drunkard, Kikuri, just like vibes with her song because that's something that Bocchi couldn't do.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And she's so impressed. She's like, I'm just playing my song and she's killing it. Just sitting down there. No big deal.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sick. And this is where you said there was a reference. There's a dude in the audience that they make a point to show you in this scene.
That's
And
not
imme-
the part I was talking about.
Oh, it has to be a reference to something.
I don't remember.
I'll try and
been a
show you
little
guys
while since I-
afterwards. But anyways, I noted it and I was like, that's an important guy. For sure. And they just show him looking back like twice, quite clearly. And he looks different from everyone else. Anyways.
Anyway,
No big
if,
deal.
if any of you Shweebs want to put it in the comments and let
Yeah,
us know
tell me.
what
I'm
the
curious.
test
Tell
was.
us. Yeah.
I'm curious. Okay, so after the concert, they actually like do well. A lot of people are enjoying it. She sells the tickets, but not after the cops come and break it up. ACAB. So after that,
We're
except
not a
Josh,
political-
we love
we're-
Josh.
We're not a political podcast.
No.
But I will say,
But
though,
if we were,
But the punk rock musician in me says
The punk-
ACAB
yeah.
all day.
a punk rock musician in you, yes.
Yeah.
But what I will say though is if for any of you musicians out there who are listening or like just starting out, going and doing open jams
Yeah.
is actually a huge, like a very good way of developing your ear and also learning how to play and jam with others and not having to like rehearse anything because
Yeah.
it forces you in. Like go in there to the Lion's Den, do that because like that's what one of the biggest things when I started playing, like made me so much better as a musician.
Yeah. So what you're saying is like learning to play guitar in your closet and never playing with another human being is not a good move.
And it is a good move too.
Okay.
You got to still learn the basics.
it's better to jam.
Yeah.
And it's also better to jam your finger onto the subscribe button.
Mikey wasn't gonna do it. No, he wasn't even gonna do it.
I totally forgot.
He wasn't even gonna do it.
I just sniped it.
Yeah, you
Go
did.
ahead, Mikey.
I wouldn't call that a snipe.
No, that's not
I'd call
really
that a save.
yeah. Jesus.
Let me call it a snipe.
All right.
We got way too excited about this one. You
sniped that save.
Yes. But anyways, yes, please like and subscribe wherever you're getting your podcast. If you're watching us on YouTube, leave a comment, tell a friend. That's the best thing for us.
Yeah.
And also, we have a giveaway.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're doing it.
We're doing it. So if you listen to our last episode, same rules apply. So we are giving away a Raftalia from Rising of the Shield Hero, a pop-up parade by Good Smile, one of Hanger 91's Flash Prints, JJK, and a sticker pack, some really cool stickers.
Yeah.
So since triples are best, you can enter in either YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok, or all three, triple your chances, by subscribing or following, liking, and leaving a comment and tagging 3 friends in it. And also, if you share it, that really helps too.
Yeah. We'll check.
We're watching
Do all
you.
of those things.
We're
and you
watching
enter.
you.
And then we're going to tally it all up and we're going to announce it on,
Our Valentine's Day episode, which is going to be February 15th.
yeah, the day after Valentine's Day because that's a Wednesday.
That's
Yeah.
the Wednesday.
That's the Tatami Galaxy.
the Tatami Galaxy.
Yeah, so please enter, guys. That would really mean the world, and
Yeah.
tell people about it. And yeah, even if you don't like Rising the Shield Hero, these figures are like fucking amazing, and
Yes.
it'll probably be a good reason to start watching that show.
And
So
to start
Yeah.
buying more figures.
join us.
You got to start somewhere.
Become financially irresponsible like us.
Yeah, how to be 30 plus and broke.
That's our next podcast.
Yeah,
We're
it
good.
looks a lot like this podcast.
We have a- yeah.
Anyways,
Back
back
to
to
it.
it.
We touch each other. Oh, I thought we were saying the same things at the same time again. Okay, sorry. I thought we were saying the same things again. Sorry.
Oh, God.
Okay, so let's jump forward to the day of the big show. So there's a typhoon coming through. Everyone's bailing out on the show. Her 2 fans from the street performance and the drunk, who is my friend, comes. Anyways, they start playing, and at first there's a decent crowd there, and at first everyone's kind of on their phones, which is real life.
Yes.
And then Bocchi's shredding, the band joins in, and they're killing, and like people start looking up from their phones.
Yeah.
That's basically how their performance goes. And at the end, everyone claps. It's great. They did a good job.
It's the second song. Like, that's
Yeah.
when they're like, oh, because at
Exactly.
first. But here's the funny thing. Every time, this is where you really find out where Bocchi really shines and pushes through. Because anytime in the outside world, in the real world,
Yeah.
she's always so socially awkward, and everybody else is the one trying to bring her out.
Yeah.
But when things kind of go a little bit wrong in the band during a performance,
Yeah.
it's Bocchi's the one who's the hero pushing the band to come out. Right?
Is that this one? I think that's the next show. In the next show, things start to go wrong.
Yeah, but you also kind of see it in this one.
Okay.
Yeah, in this
Sure,
one a little
she
bit.
does
Like,
do.
yeah.
She is that. She does play that role for the band.
Yes.
She anchors them musically.
Yes.
Basically.
She's the Rock.
She's the Rock.
Bocchi, Dwayne Johnson. Okay, so after the
Imagine.
show,
Yeah. All
in
of
the
a
live
sudden-
action interpretation,
Yeah, she just zips off her skin as the Rock in anime form.
Why is there skin?
you
being
made it
zipped
way
off?
weirder than it was when we were
I was
talking
just
about
imagining The Rock in a pink wig.
it. Yeah, same.
Okay. Cool.
Mike is like, she unzips her skin.
She rips off the skin suit.
It puts the lotion on.
Yeah.
Oh, you're making it
literally,
weirder
dude.
still.
You're doing it. You're doing it.
Anyway.
After the show, they actually finally go out and have a little after party, and Bocchi's having the best fucking time. They go
Yeah.
out to this restaurant, they're chilling. She orders food, even though it's hard for her, and she ends up just ordering fries.
Yeah.
She's having a good time.
Respect. I've ordered just fries many a time.
Just because you're
going
freaking the
out.
fuck out about what to order?
No, just because sometimes you just want fries.
Fries
That's
are
not what she
great.
wanted, though. She wanted something, and she panicked.
Just
Yeah.
saying.
Okay.
I back it.
Okay. Are you going to unzip your skin and inside is the rock?
No, just a bunch
just
of French fries.
Okay, so a weird thing happens after that is she wanders towards the bar, and there's these 2 like super sad drunks talking about how hard it is to be old. And she like launches herself into a spiral of anxiety because of that.
Yes.
I don't
And that
quite
is-
understand.
No, that is so real,
scene.
dude.
Yeah.
That is so real.
I mean-
especially for someone with any kind of like anxiety disorder or anything like that, like getting into a spiral.
Yeah.
Like you can't control that, and then it's catastrophizing, right?
It was just a weird trigger for this show. It came out of left field.
Yeah, it was a little random.
Yeah, but whatever. I think they're trying to get a point get the point across that you're trying to make. It just
Yeah.
was a strange trigger.
Yeah, but it works.
Yeah,
They
sure.
do get that point across, I think.
Yeah. Anyway, she runs outside. Nijika follows her, and she basically tells her, like, hey, I know you're a guitar hero. And I'm not mad that we haven't been using your following to promote the band. Which I was like, yeah, how come you're not using the following to promote the band? I'd probably be mad.
Yeah.
And she explains basically her whole idea for the goal. She's like, see, your goal is like playing the big stadium concert and becoming a huge rock star. My goal, because of my sister and what my sister's done for me by making this club, is just to make the club successful. I want to play shows there. I want the club to do well, and I want my band to be able to play at the club. And that's all I want. And I was like, okay,
yeah.
set your goals low. That's it. Okay, we got a beach episode, of course, and
Hell
then we
yeah.
get a cultural
Yeah.
festival episode, of course.
The best.
So we find out that Kita signed them up without Bocchi knowing. Bocchi freaks out about this, of course, but
Well,
it's all
Bocchi
good.
was going to sign them
Yeah,
up,
and then
but
panicked and didn't. yeah,
Classic.
yeah, classic Bocchi.
yeah.
So we get to the festival day, and there's, of course, a maid cafe, and the band's all working there. And then there's, another thing weird for the show. There's like 2 creeps creeping on them in the maid cafe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird
That
for
was
this show.
Very strange.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one was a little bit out of left field. I feel like there probably was some sort of reference there that we probably didn't catch.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, just I guess it's the delinquent reference where
Yeah.
like anime, you always have the delinquent guys in
I think
high school.
you put girls in a maid outfit and you're going to get horny assholes is another
That's
factor.
also fucking true.
You know what I mean?
When she's getting pecked at by the birds and like
Yeah.
attacked by the birds.
Yeah, yeah.
That's an Evangelion reference.
Oh, is it?
You wouldn't understand, but Mikey would know.
Didn't even understand to the point where it's not even that scene's not even in my notes.
Yeah.
yeah. I wouldn't expect that to
when
be.
the drones get Asuka.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait. Oh my God. Wait until we fucking make him watch Eva.
I know. We're getting there.
Yeah, we are getting there.
We've been saying that for a year, but we are.
Yeah, I know.
Speaking of references,
gonna
Bocchi
fuck
goes
you up.
Super Saiyan before the gig.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
See, now he's getting some other
I love it.
references.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm a nerd too. So we're at the gig. The crowd is huge.
Yeah.
Everyone we've met is there so far. And Bocchi like looks pretty confident. All right. This is episode 11, by the way. Episode 12 opens up right into the performance.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
It's a good way to start your last episode. Everyone's digging it immediately. They're killing it. Suddenly, we're in Bocchi's head, and she's like, oh, I'm out of tune. This is weird. And she's trying to figure out how to fix it without stopping to play, which, if you're a guitarist and that's happening to you, that's what you're doing.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Or you just stop, turn around, and fix it, and it's awkward.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Sometimes you can get away with it,
Yep.
right? Especially
Yep.
have a thing, but her tuning peg was broken.
Yeah. And then the string breaks, and she's freaking out even more, and her solo's about to come up. Kita's covering for her magically. She's like freaking out, and she's like, oh, Kita's doing a little riffy solo instead of my solo, which is sick. If you have a
Yeah.
bandmate that can do that,
Oh God.
you're a better
Yeah.
band than I've ever been in.
And this is what
Truly.
I'm talking
Yeah.
about. There is something about being in a band that you cannot replicate
Yeah.
ever. Like when you are in a band and you are like everybody's in the zone and you're feeding off each other,
Yeah.
there is absolutely nothing else in this world
Yeah.
that will replicate that feeling.
So you've probably been in bands where people are capable of doing that.
Yeah.
I've never been in that. I'll agree with you on an energy level. Yes, we feed off each other's energy.
Big time.
And that makes a good show. But there's no way if I'm not playing a part that
Yeah.
someone else is like, oh, we'll just vamp, we'll play, I'll do this, and we'll be good, no worries. That's never happening in my
No,
band.
same.
Yeah.
Same.
Fair, but still though, but it is a very cool energy, and,
Yes.
and the fact that happened, and especially it shows how much Kita has or Kita,
Kita?
yeah, Kita has
Kita, whatever.
Yeah, Kita has improved because she was so
Without a doubt.
dedicated to support Bocchi,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
And then she fucking pulls out the bottleneck.
Holy shit,
Dude,
dude.
the
I love that.
bottleneck.
Oh
I
my
love that.
It was sick.
I love
dude.
that.
It was so sick.
Yeah.
Like especially in this kind of show, like
Yeah.
are you
Never
kidding
expect
me?
that.
And plays a slide solo.
Yeah, like
You didn't even know she could do that.
Yeah.
yeah, like who at that age
Yeah.
knows how to bust out a slide?
Dude, I just saw a
Guitar
video.
Hero.
I just saw a video clip the other day. It was like fed to me by the fucking internet gods or whatever, of like this old clip of some like country guitar guy playing, and then some dude walks up behind him with a beer and holds it over his shoulder, and then the guy grabs it and then and starts like ripping with the bottle in his hand.
Dude.
And the guy just walks away and leaves him with the beer, and the guy just starts ripping with it.
Yeah.
And this is like some like 50-something-year-old Southern U.S. Blues musician.
Some nobody in a dive bar somewhere.
You expect it from him.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? This. I don't think so.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
Yeah.
But I loved it.
Also, was she drinking a beer?
I
No,
mean,
you know what? It was probably the other bass player. What's her name?
Yeah.
it was
her.
Heroes.
My waifu.
Yeah.
Your waifu.
Okay, so that was sick as hell. Then after the song's done, Kita's basically introducing the band, yada yada, and she's like, and that's Bocchi, but fuck, let's let Bocchi introduce herself, which is the dumbest thing you could ever do if you're in a band with
Biggest
Bocchi.
mistake.
You're in a band with Bocchi.
You just ruined everything.
And so Bocchi panics, obviously, and goes, what am I going to do? And she stage dives directly into the ground.
On her face.
But it fucking rules.
Yeah.
And it makes her more popular.
Yeah, but the one thing that I really wished for her though is that somebody at least got her up, and then they could have played the third song, because we never got that third song.
No, you didn't. But that's
Yeah.
what the next season's for.
Yeah, but I don't know if we're gonna get a next season, because they capped it off pretty well. In
I actually would like if there was not a next season.
fuck
For multiple reasons. One, because I wouldn't watch it anyways, and two, because
I would make you watch.
I would if you made me. But also because it did wrap up really nicely. I don't need more. Okay, so it's all done, whatever. We go back home. Bocchi's at home, and obviously now her parents are like, okay, I guess you love music. Let's help you out with this. By the way, you're loaded. Because her dad has been saving all that YouTube money.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I got all this money for you.
By the way, there probably will be more. The manga is serialized. So.
Okay.
Oh, is it? Nice.
Well, we don't need to do another episode on this.
Oh, we probably will.
I don't know if we need to.
Yeah.
I mean,
If you guys want us to,
Yes. Let us know in the comments.
yeah.
okay.
Like and subscribe.
Mercy, please. So with all her new money, she goes instrument shopping, picks up a new axe.
Yes.
Of course. And then she comes home and she's admiring it. She puts it in her room. She sees her old guitar
Yes.
and screams, I'm so sorry. I haven't forgotten you. I'll still play you, which is such a guitar player thing to do.
It's true.
Yeah.
I've had multiple guitars.
Yeah.
And you feel there is a certain level of guilt that happens, but it only happens when you put the new guitar down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you mention how she got the money to buy the guitar?
With her YouTube money?
Yeah.
Yeah, her dad's
that
been saving it for her.
Her dad
Yeah.
monetized her account
Yeah.
secretly.
He's like, oh, I know you've been doing that for years. Oh, by the way, here's all your money. You're loaded now.
It's like secret sweetness. They just sneak in at the end.
Yeah,
It was wholesome, but I was also like, where has this been the whole
Her
time?
parents are a sweetheart. Actually, we didn't talk about it, but there's a scene where the band all comes over to her house, or an episode.
Yeah.
And
They're
her
making
parents
the
constantly are like,
shirt designs.
they're obsessed with them, obsessed with the fact that she has friends, which I thought was kind of
Oh,
cute.
but the best is when they take stuff off of the walls, and then they see.
Why does she have all this all our profos all over the wall?
Profos.
Yeah.
But even then, though, those profos, when they were going to take those promos pictures, it was like when we were in bands, back in the day. I remember going to those locations and trying to figure out the early days of a band.
You
right?
get to a point where you stop caring about that so much.
Yeah, but
It's not-
it's just it's a nice little memory.
Yeah, you get to a point where you'd rather capture the real moments of your band and use those as your promo. In my circle, anyhow.
I think that was actually, I don't know if it was intentional or not, but the internet has deemed it intentional. The K-On reference I was mentioning, when they take their profos and they're like, maybe we should take one jumping.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Any group that takes a jumping photo is automatically legendary. And
Yes.
the iconic shot of the K-On opening is the four girls jumping off a set of stairs in unison together.
Okay.
I imagine that they're alluding to that because
Yeah.
this is definitely owes
right.
a lot to K-On. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the show basically is over here. It ends on the band's all hanging out and chatting, and Nijika says something like, we should probably think of our next concert, which is very, we'll see what happens in the next chapter vibes.
But also very real because as soon as you'd finish a fucking gig, you're immediately as a band, it's always all right, what's next?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no time to sit and fucking rest on your
Totally.
success.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
let's keep going.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the grind,
Or you
man.
break up and stop being in a band and start doing a podcast about anime.
Yeah.
Yep.
Why do you got to say that? That makes it sound so sad.
But that's another thing you can do. I'm just saying we know all about.
And
Yes,
that's
it's true.
real.
Yeah.
That's real.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, adulting sucks.
Yeah.
Something about realizing lies.
That's way too much.
That does it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
That's
Bocchi
it.
The Rock, season
Bocchi
1.
The Rock.
Bocchi Dwayne Johnson.
All right, Jordy.
Yeah.
What'd you give it?
I gave it a 6 out of 10.
Fuck you. A
Which-
6? A 6? Come on,
Better than I
man.
thought you were going to give it.
Really?
Well, here's why. Let me tell you. I did find myself becoming more and more invested in the band as time went on. The comedy didn't do it for me aside from a couple moments. I'll be honest with you. I did find characters I enjoyed, but also not enough for me to think I would ever rewatch this, to be honest with you, personally.
Wait, did you binge this?
Yeah, not all in one shot, maybe 2 nights,
Okay.
3 nights maybe.
Yeah,
But yeah.
I do find that this is one of those animes, like, it's much more enjoyable when you watch it week by week, I found.
Okay.
Right. What about you, Jay?
I'll give this a 7.
A 7?
Just around 7.
Okay.
You know,
Acceptable.
it was
It's only one more than me, dude.
Yeah.
it was
little more
good.
acceptable.
It was good. It was endearing. It was sweet. It had some really likable characters, and it wasn't a complete slog to watch. There was definitely some times where I was like, it was losing me a little bit, but. Like I said, I think that might just be because I was starting to get Asobi Asobase vibes, and then I started expecting a certain joke per minute kind of content. I wasn't getting that. And when I wasn't getting jokes, I was getting a lot of Beck. And then I was like, ooh.
You have a Beck with like cute magical girls that are all beautiful angels that you want to protect.
And it was the best thing to mix with Beck to get me on board.
It's the way to make Beck palatable to Jay.
Yeah.
Is to make it this.
Therefore, you get a 7 as opposed to, I can't remember what I gave Beck, but it was not good.
It might have been a 2.
yeah, it was
It
really
was not good.
Yeah, it was not
really
good.
low.
Maybe you guys can go watch it and tell me or something.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe. But yeah, how about you, Mikey?
I give this an 8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I give this a solid 8 because it's like the only
A
reason.
solid 8.
Yeah, a solid 8. I was I mean, it loses a point only because there's certain pacing issues that I found. That was kind of like, you know, the lead up to a joke was kind of drawn out a little bit, and then it also loses a point because some of the moments where, you know, she's going a little bit too nuts with her anxiety and how like animated that is.
Yeah.
Right. It was just a bit overbearing, but otherwise like
Heavy-handed.
Yeah, a little bit too heavy-handed.
So what you're saying is the anxiety and the jokes were heavy-handed.
No, I'm not saying that they were heavy-handed. I'm just saying that sometimes some of the pacing could have been a little bit better.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it was a lot of fun. I had a smile on my face the whole time.
A lot of smiles.
Yeah, a lot of smiles,
Yeah.
you know. Eventually, I just want them all to do really well. And,
Yeah.
You know, you want to see them grow.
Yep.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so I gave it a solid 8.
All right.
Typical Mikey likes anime and we hate it.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. Typical 6, 7, 8.
7, 8, 9.
Wow.
Yeah.
You wish.
Fuck you.
You didn't give it a 9.
No, I didn't. Anyways, Jordy, where can people find you, buddy?
At Reaching In on Instagram.
Yeah. How about you, Jay?
At hanger.91 on Instagram or hanger91.bigcartel.com.
And also, before we end off, next week we are doing Belle. And yes, that's the movie, Belle the movie.
I'm
It
trying
came
not to
out-
make any facial expressions to betray my feelings on the movie.
Okay. it's
BELLE.
Yeah, 2021, I believe it came out.
Mamoru Hosoda.
Yes. So that's next week's episode. You guys can find me on TikTok, Instagram at Shmanime Pod. Also, Korean Barbecue 86 on Instagram. But
And the
I'm
Discord.
And the Discord. And also, shout out to Never Not Kittens. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow.
Hell yeah. Follow them on TikTok.
TikTok. And
Lisa is Bocchi The Rock for kittens. What the band
Yes.
for the band?
They
That-
are
That was
a-
not a sentence.
yeah, like that makes no fucking sense.
Think about it for a minute.
You know what? We're not going to edit that out, but we should.
You're welcome for that really good spot I just did for you for your kitten rescue company.
We gotta show Lisa
Come
that
on
one.
down,
Yeah,
at least
yeah.
it'll take care of your kittens real fucking good.
Kind of like Bocchi is taking care of the playing of the music in the anime.
Yes.
Yeah.
They are a nonprofit kitten rescue that my wife and I run.
Very successfully, might I add.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, there's
Help
cute
them be
kittens.
successful.
Mhm. You can see them on the TikTok. I post updates on all the rescue kittens.
By the
Anyway.
way, success to them means like living kittens. If you want
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
support them.
If you don't support them, what do you want?
The opposite of that,
You guys are just fucking digging it in, man.
well, support.
I mean, just think about it. Think about it.
All right, thanks, guys. Love you. Bye.
Bye.